Hi, I'm Michelle, and this is Amelia from SMILE's Community Development Team.
And today we're joined by Nick Middleton, Head of Community Development at Hey Smile Foundation. Nick, can you please tell us a bit about your role in supporting charities and groups?
Yeah, so my role as Head of Community Development at Smile Foundation basically means I've got a wonderful team that supports the voluntary sector with their governance, fundraising, volunteer management, and work very closely with East Riding Yorkshire Council and wider partners to make some positive changes.
Fantastic, thank you for joining us. So the topic this week is based on Talk Money Week, which is running from the 6th to the 10th of November, and it's an initiative from the Money and Pension Services.
And the week's a perfect opportunity for us to have open conversations about money, to make us more resilient so we can continue doing the fantastic work that we're doing.
And as we're covering from the post-pandemic and the current cost of living crisis, it's more important than ever to talk about those money pressures.
With 1 in 3 of us actually worrying about money at home as well, then the likelihood is that the beneficiaries that you're dealing with will all have exactly the same money worries.
Nick, how can people working in charities and groups be better prepared to have more informed conversations about money?
Okay. Well, first off, as Michelle quite rightly says, it can happen to anyone. But what is really unique is that anyone can help anybody. It's about being empowered and have those sort of conversations. First off, I'm not the expert, but I don't think you need to be the expert. You just need to be in a position to recognise the signs, listen, and offer that supportive conversation. And what I would say is, I've been through the situation myself. I was a dad for the second time. Money worries in the household, all that uncertainty of where do you go next for help, and the families, friends and work colleagues that have those conversations with you and gives you that assurances and gives you that clarity where to go next. It's so important, and it gives you more power, it gives you that space. So as an individual, talking to your families, friends, work colleagues, I would say it's so important to sort of have those sort of conversations. And if you need that encouragement and confidence, then we've got some really good resources on the VCSE News and Resource website, and specifically on the VCSE e-learning website as well, because we're working in partnership with Hull and East Riding Citizens Advice Bureau, and they pulled together some debt advice training, and it's so accessible. You can just follow it at your own steam and basically have those conversations with your community.
Fantastic. So what I've taken from that is that if you have the time and compassion to support people, it's within everybody's power, but there are steps that you can take so people are more knowledgeable about the subject.
Absolutely. It's prevention as well. It's stopping that escalating, showing that they're not alone, and actually you can say, look, we can help you. Yeah.
And I know that we've met with the East Riding Your Money team as well, who I think originally were dealing with conversations and people were struggling with council tax issues, but they have very much sort of ramped up the service that they have, and they will help anybody navigate when they're really, really struggling with money. I think the message is just don't ignore it, because there's always some help out there.
Yeah, there's lots of help out there, but to help navigate it and give you the confidence to ask for that help, what I would also say, it's about understanding what information you have to hand. That information is extremely powerful, and how to use that information when you go to those advisors as well.
Thank you for sharing some personal stories and how individuals can access support. I'd like to think about how charities can discuss their financial well-being, because that impacts their work with beneficiaries, perhaps with colleagues and the communities that they work in.
Yeah, again, from personal experiences, I've been with the voluntary sector for about 20 years, and I've seen how financial information can be delegated down to one person, and it gets that position of that one person feels like they've got the whole weight of the organisation on their shoulders. As an organisation, as a board of trustees, as managers, it's so important to have a strategy in place and share that responsibility. So simply saying what budgets we have this year, what sort of money we've got in the bank, what sort of activities that we are planning, helps bring together a strategy. And it's not saying that it has to be a warts and all strategy, it has to be proportionate to the size of your organisation, but having that plan on a page and having that conversation with the people around you in your organisation gives that assurances that we know what we need to do, and we know how we can help others, and these are the resources that we need. And once you've got that plan on a page, it's quite interesting to say, actually, that's the true cost of running this service. And we know how to engage our funders because that's the funders that are like to support us. They put money towards staffing, they put money towards our online services, the money towards our peer activities. It's so important to have that plan on a page and actually have that cash flow and not to have it as a burden of one person to be delegated. It's a shared responsibility.
We touched on that in a previous video about trustees, about it's really important to have diverse trustee boards, and there may be someone with a certain skill around accountancy and finances, but everybody must have an understanding of it.
Yeah, it's that challenge and support. If you're not understanding it, that's fine, because you're probably not the only one in the room that doesn't understand it. Raise your hands and say, can you run through this number? And you can work together to get that shared understanding. But it is a shared responsibility, absolutely.
Yeah, and I suppose as well, if any charities or small groups are out there that need some guidance, as well as the resources that we've got on this site, just get in touch with the team, the Smile Community Development team, because that's what we're here for.
So thank you again for joining us today, Nick. It's been really insightful. Please check the comments below for any links to the resources that we've spoken about today.
And just remember, if you need some help, Smile Community Development team are here.